show my roadmap. Firstly, disadvantage, then counterplan. Then, advantage about the discrimination in Okinawa. Then, advantage about the economy of the Japan-U.S. treaty. Before starting my speech, I'd like to show my thanks word. Firstly, I'd like to show my deepest gratitude for the US debaters and doctor, who have come a long way from the US to hold this match. And secondly, NAPA committees, thank you for holding this nice tournament for us. Then lastly, my greatest mentor, Mr. Amane, thank you for bringing me here as your partner. And I'm very grateful because you are the man who I look up to as a great debater. Then today, however, today I'm extremely nervous to stand here in front of Mr. Amane as his partner. And I've been very nervous for more than a week. And to make a speech in front of him. However, last time my greatest senpai, Mr. Tashima from the Keio English Speaking Society, stood here as one of the representatives. So I wish to deliver a speech better than his. And to prove the greatest winning by the greatest number, I start with disadvantage, ASAP uniqueness first. Even today, we are under many security risks such as terror, piracy, and spread of weapons, and so on. Such threats changes form day by day. In order to tackle such risk, cooperation with the US is necessary. According to Defense of Japan by Ministry of Defense 2013, quote, in today's global society, how to deal with spread of weapons, terrorism, piracy have become a problem. New problems have come up. Risk against the sea universe and cyberspace. These problems of security are extremely difficult to solve by only one. It's important for related countries to cooperate, especially the US military and self-defense force has worked from usual in various aspects under the Japan-U.S. Security Treaty. Then these have become the basis for the US military and self-defense force in improved effectiveness of the Japan-U.S. Security Treaty, unquote. Visa point, linkage and impact. After plan, security cooperation between Japan and US disappeared. Thus, there's no way to deal with security risk. That's why plan action is too risky. Then go to counter plan, about negotiation. 8th point, observation. So far, the content of Japan-US Security Treaty have changed time after time by discussion between Japan and US. Therefore, there's room for negotiation to solve problems, which they showed in YOC. According to Nikkei newspaper 2015, quote, both Japan and the US revised the guideline for security. Considering the change in security, both cooperate with each other and deal with problems for all time. The cooperation started by Security Treaty in 1951. Direction has changed to tackle with former Soviet Union, North Korea by revision in 1997. They reflect what the party agreed and relax the restrictions significantly, unquote. Thus, the goal of this counter plan is to achieve the good balance, where we should compromise in order for national security by negotiation, which is too early to decide for this time. Visa point mandate. First, shall negotiate with the US to solve inherency as first step. 2. Shall use termination as diplomatic card if necessary. CSAT point, non-topicality. We never decide whether or not it is desirable to terminate the Japan-US Security Treaty now. DSAT point, mutual exclusiveness is clear. ESAT point, solvency, superiority. First, after negotiation, the status of inherency or the uniqueness of disadvantage can change, and it is highly likely to go for better. Therefore, too, after counter plan, we can do debate in better way. That's why for this time we should not discuss. Then please go to advantage about the discrimination in Okinawa. Firstly, as for disadvantage, they talk about the problems which exist in Okinawa, such as the crime or something. Also, however, if disadvantage, which talks about national security issue stands, then this inherency should be regarded as necessary cost. And that's because this is needed for having US to protect us from various threats such as mentioned in disadvantage. Then this is a give-and-take situation of the Japan-US Security Treaty. At the time, as long as the affirmative never showed the significance to take plan by even causing such risk, this advantage is not significant. Please keep it in mind. Then, I show the no inherency card. Recently, thanks to toughening penalty of soldiers' crime rate is decreasing. Moreover, US soldiers' crime rate is much less than Japanese people. According to Dr. Robert at Okinawa International University 12 volt, The crime rate of Okinawa citizens amounts 6 times than that of the United States Armed Forces on average. Actually, the crime rate of persons concerned with the United States Armed Forces decreased year by year. It's necessary to point out that toughening the penalty advances favored compared with other countries which have the status of forces agreement, but also given wide special prosecution right in agreement, unquote. Then please go to advantage about the economy. Firstly, I show a turnaround. As for the advantage, I understand there's to some extent problem exists. However, initially they never proved that actually for 100% such economy will be better after plan. Therefore, I should turn around. Securing national defense with US support is very efficient for Japanese finance and economical stability. However, by termination, such support disappears and cause negative effect on Japanese finance and economy. According to senior research, Hirota 2006 quote, assumption of the analysis is that reduction of host nation support makes it possible to increase the same amount of budget for military investment. 3 scenarios are used here. No reduction, 25% reduction, 50% reduction of the host nation support. By allocating half of Japan's fiscal year 2004 budget for host nation support, Japanese military could almost double the size of programs such as ballistic missile defense system. Boosting Japan's military capital stock by decreasing host nation support would not compensate for the possible damage, the US military capital stock, which is more than 10 times as large as that of Japan, unquote. Then, as for the inherency, they said under the status quo, such economy is decreasing by the suppression of the US. However, no background and no significance was shown to why we have to collapse today's military system only to gain such economical money. Please keep it.
My first question is about the disadvantage. Is it possible to ever cooperate without the security treaty?
Firstly, in our evidence, it says that under such the security treaty itself, such kind of protection is existing. So,
but my question is, we don't have security treaties with, for example, China, but we cooperate with China all the time. So why would relations between United States and Japan suddenly disappear if the piece of paper with the treaty goes away?
Maybe my partner will show, but our stance says that under the status quo, thanks to the treaty itself, such kind of protection exists.
About the counterplan,
yes.
You've talked about the history of negotiations. Have these negotiations ever changed the host nation support? Have they ever changed the fact that, like, Japan and the United States will go to war if somebody attacks them? Has it ever changed the fundamentals of the treaty?
Maybe our evidence indicates that actually both Japan and US revised such guidelines for security, then considering the change in such threat of the future. Then maybe in our evidence, it never shows that actually for host nation support or such specific advantage inherency, such negotiation has succeeded. We never show. However, maybe this proof burden goes to the affirmative.
I have a question about your second argument on the economy advantage.
Yes.
You mentioned that it's efficient. However, host nation support goes to things like beauty salons, gyms, golf courses, bartenders for the American troops. How is this an efficient use of host nation support money?
Maybe our card content mentions that by increasing such, even assuming such minus effect on the host nation support, our evidence indicates that Japan's military could almost double the size of programs, such as the program for ballistic missile defense system. So even assuming such disadvantage, I'm sorry, thank you.